Well, there was good news for the next president and for the current president, Joe Biden, in the Wall Street Journal today under the headline, "The next president inherits a remarkable economy." The next president will be inheriting the best economy in the world from Joe Biden. If politics were fair, Joe Biden would get credit for this country's remarkable economy. The issue of the day on the campaign trail was the stupidest person who has ever run for president telling American women, as Ali was just suggesting, what he is going to do to them, whether they like it or not. Donald Trump has the worst presidential campaign staff in history, but even they are smarter than Donald Trump. And Donald Trump is the only person in his campaign who doesn't know that his otherwise ridiculous staff is actually smarter than he is. And he proved that last night when he said this.
I want to protect the women of our country. I want to protect the women. Sir, please don't say that. Why? They said we think it's very inappropriate for you to say. So why? I'm president. I want to protect the women of our country. They said. They said, sir, I just think it's inappropriate for you to say, pay these guys a lot of money. Can you believe it? I said, well, I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not.
And here is the other thing. Donald Trump has done to women his entire life, according to him, whether they like it or not.
Just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the you can do anything.
The Trump campaign staff knew that was coming. The people in the Trump campaign who were telling him not to say, I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not, probably knew that that would revive Donald Trump's public confession of being a repeated sexual assaulter on that Access Hollywood videotape 8 years ago. But they were probably afraid, the campaign staff was probably afraid to tell Donald Trump why they thought he shouldn't say that last night. They were probably afraid to say it'll revive the Access Hollywood video. And so, because it's just a little too easy and logical to link what Donald Trump is saying about women in the campaign now to what he said about women on the Access Hollywood tape 8 years ago, that's why the campaign staff didn't want him to say that. If you're a star, they let you do it. Here is Donald Trump under oath in a deposition in the E. Jean Carroll case.
You say, and again, this has become very famous in this video, I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. Just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Grab them by the you can do anything. That's what you said, correct?
Well, historically, that's true with stars.
It's true with stars that they can grab women by the
Well, that's if you look over the last million years, I guess that's been largely true. Not always, but largely true. Unfortunately or fortunately.
And you consider yourself to be a star?
I think you can say that, yeah.
There is Donald Trump in an under oath deposition where it's impossible for staff to protect him and therefore impossible to hide how breathtakingly stupid he is. Donald Trump's stupid comment about whether women like it or not has revived the Access Hollywood video for voters who didn't know it even existed because they were too young 8 years ago and their parents shielded them from it. The Washington Post reports, I don't think any of my friends had heard it, said Kate Sullivan, a 21-year-old student in Ohio who heard the tape for the first time on her TikTok For You feed this week. We all felt equally shocked. She immediately felt compelled to share the audio in her own video with the superimposed text, "Fathers are voting for this man." The video has been viewed by 2.5 million times and was reshared by singer Billie Eilish to her 68 million followers. Here's the first thing Vice President Harris said on the campaign trail in Arizona today.
Did everyone hear what he just said yesterday? That he will do what he wants, quote, and here's where I'm going to quote, whether the women like it or not. And we must vote, because this is the thing. You know, there's a saying that you got to listen to people when they tell you who you are, who they are. And this is not the first time he has told us who he is. He does not believe women should have the agency and authority to make decisions about their own bodies. This is the same man who said women should be punished for their choices. He simply does not respect the freedom of women or the intelligence of women to know what's in their own best interest and make decisions accordingly. But we trust women. We trust women.
Vice presidential candidate Tim Walz said this today.
Last night, Donald Trump said that if you're a woman, he'll be your protector. And he also said this. Imagine that this was a moment of self-reflection for him. He says, I know a lot of people don't like that. Oh, no shit, they don't like it. But here's the scary part, people, because there's no excuse for not hearing this, because he said it. He said, I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not. That's how this guy's lived his life. That's why he was on the Access Hollywood tape, and that's why he ended up in court, because that's what he thinks about it. This feeling of women right now in this, every age and every party. Here's what's going to happen on Tuesday. They are going to send a loud and clear message to Donald Trump on November 5th. They're going to send that message whether he likes it or not.
Tonight in Reno, Nevada, Vice President Harris said this.
We have an opportunity in this election to turn the page on a decade of Donald Trump trying to keep us divided and afraid of each other. We're done with that. We're exhausted by it. We're done with that. We're done with it. And Reno, this is the thing. We know that this is not who we are. That's not who we are. And it is time for a new generation of leadership in America.